Welcome, low ego action heroes. This is Debbie Levitt from deltacx.com. We're a full service CX and UX consultancy. Check us out. And every Friday we've been doing Reaction Stream, but as of now, I'm going to rename it Practicing Critical Thinking, and that will be our recurring Friday stream. Hi, I-10. Because in reality, it's not just that I'm reacting to something. We are applying our critical thinking, and it's a great time to practice along with me. So I've put on my critical thinking hat. I hope you've put on your critical thinking hat, or maybe you are drinking your critical thinking beverage since it's Friday, and we are looking to blow off some steam. Hello, Superior Iron Man Tony. So I've got a few things to talk about today, and we are going to use our critical thinking to break these into pieces, challenge them, ask questions, and if you're watching live, play along in the chat room. If you are watching the recording later, drop some comments into the comments. Yeah, that's where they go. Quick note, I am holding a live workshop. You can find it at deltacx.link/TTCC-training, and it is my one-day workshop on transforming toward customer centricity. So if you would like to learn more about how to help your company improve their UX practice and maturity and things like that, check it out, see if it's right for you. I priced it rather fairly for a full day workshop. It is nearly free, so I just want to see lots of people there. Critical Thinking Beer. Hi, Madalena. And as always, we thank the people financially donating to the channel, which of course is completely optional, but they have pressed the join button on YouTube, and we're certainly grateful for them contributing to the show, since I reject sponsors and fun things like that. Also note that every month we donate ad revenue to charity. The February donation was just made, and it was to a Ukrainian organization, you know, in support of what's happening there. Hi, Ray. All right, so we didn't get too many things this week, but let me flip over and we will jump in and check these out together. And let's make sure I did that right. Yeah, I'm in the corner. I think my hat's cut off, but anyway, you can see me there. So we've got 4 things, and then I tacked on a 5th. That's a little bit of a preview of something that's going to come in a couple of weeks. So this is a UX Collective article called Why I Won't Be Participating in ADP. ADP List is a website that connects people with mentors, though I hear it's extremely hit and miss, so it is usually not a website that I recommend. Hi, Ray. Good to see you. Happy Friday. And evidently, they recently announced that they are going to allow people to tip mentors, who, of course, are doing the mentoring for free. And there's a lot of controversy around that. And hypothetically, nothing stopped you from tipping them before. I could always say, hey, what's your email? I want to PayPal you a little something. But evidently, they're building it into the platform. So this is someone whose name I've seen go by on LinkedIn. I don't know this person that well, but this is what he has to say about the whole thing. So he starts out by basically saying the history of him being a mentor and why he likes ADP List, because unlike other mentoring platforms, there's no subscription fee. And why will mentors like this? And he posts I assume this is a good review about him, though I don't, if it's not about him, why did he blur out the name? So maybe this is a good review about someone else. Don't know. And then the idea that this is now going to include tipping with a minimum of $5, which I think was also interesting, because if you look at our YouTube features for like super chat and super stickers and the way you can kind of tip here through YouTube, I think the lowest is like $1 or 1 in whatever your currency is. And of course, even when people give that, I'm very grateful. So I was a little surprised that they went with $5, especially since there's so many people around the world who tell me they $5 is a lot to them, especially people from other countries whose Hi, Jatine. Tell me if I'm pronouncing your name okay. So this person is saying it's better to pay it forward than to receive $5 or money on it. Oh, Madalena says the lowest on YouTube for her shows up as just under £1 British. Yeah, it's probably like a 99 cents kind of thing. And audio keeps cutting out. Is that happening for anybody else? Let me check my audio. Am I too loud? Is it distorting? Am I the only one getting audio blips? I don't see anything. You're looking at my setup, and I don't see anything. My microphone looks like it's at a good level. Okay, everybody says my audio is blipping. Is it still blipping? I don't see anything that would be causing my audio to blip. I'm not redlining. It stops and then it catches up. It's only done it 2 to 3 times total, so it comes in and out. Happened again. I don't get it. So over here is my internet. You can see my internet's looking pretty good, and the upload speed. The sound stops for a couple of seconds. There's a robotic sound, and it just happened. All right, hold on. Let's see if I can swap microphones. This doesn't go well with the hat. Is this better? Can anyone tell me if this audio is better, worse, same? My video is good, thank you. I hope you're all enjoying my studio in a box system. How is the audio now that I've switched headphones? Better, worse, same? I'm so sorry to anybody watching this later. This is really boring. Better for now. Okay. Okay. I'm not too sure what happened with my good microphone. We'll try this one, and I'll have to just check on the microphone. Really appreciate you responding to the audience. Yeah, well, look, you're right in front of me here. I know you can't see it, but it's behind my head here, but on my computer screen, it's right in front of me. All right, sorry to the people watching the stream later who had to go through a little bit of my technical difficulties and the making the sausage made version of what this looks like behind the scenes. But let's carry on with this article, which again, I suspect is longer than it needs to be because we learned in a previous stream that you make money based on how long people stay in your Medium article. So it is better to write a longer article if you are in it for the money or you have a lot to say. So ultimately, and of course, in reality, you typically put the too long didn't read at the beginning so that if there is a too long didn't read or a summary, people can read it at the beginning and then go, okay, I got it, and leave. So I thought it was a little funny to put it at the end. But basically, this person is saying, no, he doesn't want to accept tips because he thinks you will not pay it forward because you'll feel like you paid for it, which I think is thinking the worst of people. So I don't agree with it. And that people with the means to tip may get better mentorship than those without. And again, that is going to be up to the individual mentor. If someone joins this platform because they're hoping to get $5 here and there, that's that mentor. And, you know, it's like the karaoke clubs. There are karaoke clubs who will let anybody sing. And I've been to karaoke clubs where you can only sing if you tip the DJ. And then I stopped going back to those because I didn't like the vibe. So ultimately, I'm not too sure what we learned here other than this guy doesn't want to do it because of these reasons. And that's fine by me. I didn't have a strong positive or negative feeling about this article. That's his choice. Madalena says, my 2 cents, if it's not coerced, it's fine. Yes, it sounds like the tipping is going to be optional. There is a lot of controversy because the whole point of ADP list was for it to be free. Now you add tipping, and now there's hypothetically, what is it? 2 cents. 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 2
baggage, there's problems. So I think it's, it is what they make it. And if they have really good mentors who don't push people about tips or give preference to people who tip or whatever, then your system works. But it's an honor-based system. I-10. Why does everybody feel like they have to comment on everything? Maybe because they make money on the article? All right, next you all sent me this one, or someone sent me this one, and I apologize, I don't pronounce names well. This might be Shwati. I apologize. If you're here, please correct me. And I am connected to her on LinkedIn. This is a private browser, but I don't know her particularly well. And it says, if you want to learn UX research, start with in-demand research methods, then move to the bottom. For example, for starting, being an expert in 3 methods will be enough. The more you know, the better it is. Okay, so let's take a look at this thing they posted from UX Micro Masteries. I don't know who that is, but basically it looks like they ran some sort of survey or they checked what's being asked for in UX jobs. Steph says, I don't get the minimum as well. A tip is whatever you want to give. Yeah, if someone gives me one unit of money here, that's beautiful. I wouldn't say like, oh, there's a minimum, it's 5. So they're saying user testing, surveys, interviews, statistics, which technically isn't a research method. It's kind of an analysis, field research and ethnography, contextual inquiry, diary study, focus group, benchmark studies, card sorting, concept testing, which may or may not be like usability testing, online experiments, A/B testing, competitor analysis, server logs, please know, tree testing, usability evaluation, user modeling, clickstream analytics, participatory designs, which doesn't sound like research, but I guess it could be, scorecards, and SQL Server. Let's go back to the chat. Kayla says, it makes me feel like I should if I found their advice helpful, but it's unobtrusive so far. Facts says, just wondering, the websites that don't have ad revenues or any monetary connection, is their business profitable in any way? In this case, ADP List. Yeah, I don't know how ADP List makes money. I heard they have investors, but investors usually want returns on their investment. They want to make money. So I don't understand how ADP is going to make money unless they're eventually charging for something or unless everybody invested with no hope of return, which makes me wonder what is going on here. I saw this post 5 hours ago today. Yeah, when was it from? 2 days ago. Yeah. So ultimately, I would say there are aspects of this that I agree with. I agree that it's good if you are starting, that you don't have to become an expert in 20 methods, that it's important to be strong at the most common methods that, oh, thank you, Matalina. 2 British pounds, a lemon character blowing a big red heart. Thank you so much for your super sticker. Optional, but always appreciated. Yeah, so I can't totally disagree with this, though, again, I think that one thing to think about is UX doesn't do as many surveys as you might think. Typically, surveys are being done sometimes by us and sometimes by other departments, and it is really hard to get good at surveys, especially if you don't know good statistical analysis to go with them. People think surveys are easy because they're easy to make, and then you get these results in these pretty graphs. But if you really want to analyze them correctly, you have to know more. Thank you for the tip, Madalena. Not unobtrusive, hopefully. What was that word we just said? So I think that when it comes to UX research, it would be important to know interviewing and contextual inquiry. I was upset to not see observational studies here unless they feel like that falls into field research or ethnography or contextual inquiry. I thought it should have been called out here. But I would say if you only had to pick a few things to get good at, planning research you need to get good at. If you're bad at planning it, statistics and building a survey won't help you because you didn't plan it well. So to me, got to get good at planning research. You've got to get good at recruiting so that you're interviewing or surveying or whatever the right audience. I just heard another one go off. What is going on here? I-10. Thank you. Everybody, stop that. Um, I don't know why it didn't show up in the chat room. Let me refresh the chat room. I might be missing some of your comments. Let's see, can I refresh it? Okay. Yeah, sorry if I'm missing some comments. Somebody comment, let's see if it shows up. So planning the research, recruiting for the research, executing the research, which is going to be interviewing skills, which I keep hearing people say it can take 2 to 3 years to get good at. So we cannot overlook how long you have to work on that to get good at it. And that's going to be your interview and contextual inquiry. And then, of course, analyzing and synthesizing the data to find the insights and opportunities. And then you can just tack on some of these other things. But to me, those are some of the basics. I'm not sure I can hire a researcher other than a junior who we know he needs some training, who isn't already good at some of those things or has some foundational skills. I am not seeing comments, so I am wondering if my chat died. Let's open up, let me open up my other window. And let's see if I'm missing comments in LinkedIn or if I'm missing comments in YouTube. I'm so worried I'm missing comments from y'all. The chat room just went splat. Let's see. Oh, you are writing things. Skills to get a job at low maturity companies, says Ray. Did that ever come up here? No, it didn't come up here. Boo. And let's open up LinkedIn, see if I'm missing anything anyone is saying there. Okay. So far, so good. Okay. So sorry about all these technical issues today. I'll try to flip back and forth and check for the comments since this one seems to be broken. Try refreshing it again. Yeah, so that was that one. Let's move on to the next one. This is somebody I don't know. It's from yesterday, and it says, the older generation used to get satisfaction from repetitive patterns in the tech products they used. They craved familiarity. The younger generation craves pattern breaking. Oh, finally, this is coming up. They get satisfaction from unusual and unfamiliar things blended together in new tech products. This is a big psychology shift. If someone is making a product for the younger generation, this is what? Iron Man? What? I missed your comments and everything's exploding and thank you so much. Oh my gosh. What was your missing comment? Did I miss it? Ah. Boo. Well, thank you. That is absolutely beautiful of you and totally not required. But wow, everybody, here we're talking about tipping and how you don't need to do it, and you all have gone wild. Okay, back to this guy's post. Someone sent it to me saying like, I don't think I agree with this person. Okay, I thought I missed a comment there. So this is a big psychology shift. As someone is making a product for younger generation, it's important and here to stay. And I was really happy to see some of the comments here from critical thinkers. This person said, can you give some examples? No reply. This person said, is this personal experience or is this statement backed by a solid research paper on cognitive psychology? No reply. And this person said, I think humans are more or less the same, whatever generation they're from, it's habit. No reply. Well, hooray. I guess there's more comments here. But hooray to, oh yeah, I don't want to sign in today. This is my private browser. Hooray to the critical thinkers who challenged this person who evidently didn't want to reply. And yeah, I think that this comes off as extremely presumptive because is this just something you think or believe or how do you know this? And it comes off as ageist. And it's certainly every year it's easier and easier for me to call something ageist because every year I am significantly older than all of you. And so I'm, in some cases I'm twice your age. I might even be twice this guy's age. Yeah, Madalena says, what does younger and older mean? That's why this is the critical thinking stream. What does this guy even mean? To me, the older generation are people my parents' age who are 80. To him, I'm the older generation. I'm 50. So, and I know I've mentioned that a lot recently. I'm just surprised that I'm 50, and it just happened. It's going to happen to you eventually if you're lucky. So, oh, Ray, stop this, everybody. I feel this is too much, y'all. He responded to the comments now. Like right now? Oh, I, I, I didn't log in. Maybe there is a reply there. Um, but I don't care about his reply. I'm just happy that people are showing. Thank you, Ray. Tipping galore. Ha ha ha. It doesn't stop. I feel very silly. Um, Yeah, I think that this is an extremely presumptive and putting people into lazy buckets and what is older and what is the younger generation. And yeah, thanks, Ray. Welcome to the old folk club. Yeah, right. You, me, Nick, and Darren, and Larry. So I think that this is extremely foolish. I've found in general that people's comfort with change or repetition or habit is just based on the person. Some people are absolutely creatures of habit and resist change and are the last to change, and some people are those early adopters. I think it would have made more sense if he wanted to make sense to just say, hey, sometimes we have early adopters who are willing to try something new and different and break out of the mold. And sometimes we have the laggards and the late adopters who are kind of the last to try this and they're waiting for everybody to do it first or um, whatever the case may be. So I think we're swimming into some ageist territory when we say older and younger and then apply huge, broad behavioral assumptions based on whatever old and young is. Steph says, I want the heavy metal horns emoji, but YouTube says there's a problem processing my order. Big emoji, FOMO. Yeah, I had that yesterday. I tried to join the channel and become a paid subscriber on YouTube to a channel I enjoy, and I kept getting the message that YouTube couldn't process my order. So I think there's a problem out there. So I guess it's not just me. Kayla says perhaps he means teenagers and they want to rebel, and that's a broad generalization. Yeah, I was the teenager who didn't rebel, but everyone was telling me I was rebelling, so that's a whole other story. Fact says something I get afraid of posting on LinkedIn because of the fear of being wrong and having debate in my comment section, but I think it would be a good exercise to get different perspectives. Yeah, you have to ask yourself, is it better to get debate or silence because nobody cared to comment? So, either way. But, give it a try. If you're not sure of what you want to post, you can always private message it to me in our Slack channel. Let me put that up. Don't forget you can go to deltacx.com/links and check out all the ways that you can send stuff in for this stream or join our Slack channel, which is totally free. You can always private message it to me and I'll take a look at your post and give you some writing tips for free if that helps. And of course, please do subscribe. And if you enjoy these streams and you're a fan of critical thinking, won't you find 3 people who you think would also enjoy this channel and let them know? So, Pete, no thanks. All right, so this was an article from UX Booth, which I feel like I haven't seen in a million years. And this was from just before the pandemic, August 2019, which in some ways feels long ago and in other ways is not that long ago. And it's called Not Just Anybody Should Do User Research. I think that with the title alone, we can give this 5 dogs out of 5 because we know that we want to promote the specialty of UX and remind everybody out there that UX research, UX design, content strategy, and all of the other subspecialties of UX really are specialties, and you can't just give them to anybody. So this person, Ellen Carey, who I don't know, but it seems like a decent article, has some myths that they will dispel. Aftab says, do you have an episode on being good at surveys and proper statistical analysis? I do not, because I reached out to a bunch of quant researchers to ask them to be on the show, and they said they are not allowed to be on a show like mine because their employer won't let them. So, I am still trying to find somebody I can bring on who is allowed to come on the show. Superior Iron Man says, I got blocked on LinkedIn when someone didn't like that I showed them how Instacart's exchange and refund pattern is similar to Target, but applied to different parts of the user journey. Can't win, LOL. Yeah, who cares? If someone blocked you, it's just fine. You'll be okay. So let's look at these myths. Myth number 1, user research takes too long and costs a lot of money. Totally a myth. User research does not have to take long and it does not have to be expensive, but that requires planning ahead. A lot of people who think it takes too long come up with the idea that they need it right now. I need it right now. No planning ahead. Oh my God, what can you have for me in the next few days? Well, in that case, user research does look like it takes too long. But if in Q1 we're planning for Q2 and we know what we're going to need then, we've planned ahead. It doesn't take too long. We've planned for it. We've planned around it. Steph says there is one on what not to do in surveys. That's true. Episode 51 or 52 is what not to do in surveys. You can always go to YouTube and write Delta CX surveys. You'll get whatever we have on surveys, including our star guest, Stephanie. But we didn't specifically do one on statistical analysis. Anyone can do user research well is absolutely a myth and something I was writing about today on LinkedIn, which I'll cover quickly after this one. So yes, we know that research is not just, I like to talk to people. It's so many different skills and abilities that are quite rare. And again, as I always say, anybody can do research, anybody can cut hair, anybody can wireframe, but not everybody does it well. And if we want to have world-class products and world-class workplaces, we've got to do the work well. Otherwise, what are we doing? Myth number 3, any user research is better than none at all. I agree. I think that sometimes bad user research really pushes us in wrong directions and gives us false confidence because, hey, we talk to users, so this must be right and it must be good. Let's go in this direction. In many cases, it would probably be better to say, we are just guessing here. We didn't do the research, but here's when we're going to plan for the research. And for now, we're just going to guess a little bit, put it in the risk register, but here's when we're going to do the research and then we will take another pass at this. So I agree that any user research is not better than no research. Myth 4, designers or developers can do research part-time. Totally agree. That is a myth. I think that if a designer is fantastic at research and we're really stuck, they can do it. But if a designer isn't great at research, why are they doing it? Developers are already completely busy trying to keep up with their sprints. Madalena can tell you how many development teams cannot even finish the work they planned to do each week. It's got to be almost 100%. These teams are just not getting it done. So there is no reason to take a developer away from their work to guess at ours. Madalena says, gee, on myth number 4, I've yet to see a developer willing to do research. Like absolutely no dev would do that. I have seen developers who feel like, well, I want to talk to users. You know, I'm the engineer. I'm going to build this. I should know what they want. I'm going to go find some users and I'm going to ask them what they want, which of course is totally flawed research. I10 says, who is this author? It says Ellen S. Carey. We can quickly look at their bio on the UX Booth website. Oh, pronouns she, okay. Usability evangelist, and this is her only article on here, so we would have to look her up on LinkedIn. Ellen Carey. Was it Ellen Carey? Human capital analyst? Ellen Carey. Did I write this wrong? No, probably not. All right, well, anyway, let's keep going. Because I do agree with this person, so I'm assuming they know something about something. Those were 4 myths. I thought there were going to be more. And then she says user research is essential, but where? And she's quoting Don't Make Me Think. User research might be the most important role at your company. in many ways, I would agree. It's time we treat UX research as a discipline. I can agree. So, yeah. And why would you do that? Do what? I'm reading this too late. Why would you do what? Um, Yeah, so I think I would give this 5 dogs out of 5. I think this is a good article making some good arguments against some of the normal excuses that we see for not doing good research or thorough research or letting specialists do research and things like that. So I would totally give this 5 dogs out of 5. I think this is a good article, and maybe if you're dealing with some of these myths at your company, you can pass this article around, see if anyone cares. And then quickly, I posted to LinkedIn today. So if you're not following me or connected with me on LinkedIn, drop on by LinkedIn. And I am writing about a cousin of this topic, about the idea that in an effort to give UX work to non UX roles like product managers or project managers or marketers or developers, we've essentially taken jobs away from today's juniors. I believe that all the people, or almost all of the people, who are having trouble getting their first job, it's because we're not opening those jobs because someone said, don't open that job, don't spend that money, just, let's just have product managers do some of that extra work. And in this case, I found something Jared Spool wrote that is pushing this real hard, and I think he's going to be responsible for a lot of damage here. Fact says, I'm joining your stream live for the first time. I have to say, loving the rating system. 5 out of 5 doggos. Thank you. Those are my 5 doggos, and they are very cute. All right, so let me flip back and we'll talk about some shows we have coming up next week because the schedule unfortunately has already changed. We were going to have Darren on the show and he had to reschedule. He's going to be starting a new job soon, I think, and so his time is a little bit out of balance. But let's talk about what's happening. Monday is going to be our Think Out Loud show. We do have a new Think Out Loud project to work on, but we're saving it for the following week because we're going to have some special guests joining us to think out loud and design live. Maybe somebody named Larry, maybe somebody named Stephanie. So on Monday, we'll do our usual what's good and bad UX, and you can send in some URLs that you want me to assess live. I heard that people found that really useful, so we'll do that on Monday. And then the following Monday, we'll do live design. Tuesday, the 8th, office hours is going to be earlier. Check the schedule. If you do not know where our schedule is, follow the links to the schedule, deltacx.com/links. There's a Google Calendar there. If you use Google Calendar, add it to your Google Calendar, and then you know when the shows are. That's how some of our fantastic regulars know to show up so often. I10 says, what about the show with Dr. Nick? We moved that the following week because I have a talk I'm giving. Actually, Dr. Nick and I are both giving a talk at the same event on Tuesday. So we moved our Three Musketeers to the following week. That will be Tuesday the 15th this month. So Tuesday the 8th, early office hours. It'll be an hour and a half. It'll be an hour, sorry, an hour earlier than usual, I think is what I put. Let me check. Yeah, it'll be 5:30 my time instead of 6:30. So office hours an hour earlier next week so I can get it done before the talk we're doing. Then, of course, next Friday, and then Wednesday was going to be Darren, but we had to move him into May because of some of his time commitments right now. Sorry about that. Next Friday will be another critical thinking stream, so don't forget to go to deltacx.com/links and send something in that you want me to think critically about and assess with you. Monday the 14th, Think Out Loud with our new project. Tuesday the 15th, double office hours. The early morning one for the Eastern time zones east of me, and then the usual one with Darren and Dr. Nick. Wednesday the 16th, I will read my new Medium article published today about giving away junior jobs to product managers and developers and how I believe Jared Spool is part of the problem behind it. That'll be fun. I bet he's going to love the attention he'll get for it. Friday the 18th, think out loud, not think out loud, practicing critical thinking. Let's see what else we've got here. Think out loud. Yes, Wednesday the 23rd. I'm adding a new show. I've had more and more people ask me about writing books and writing articles and publishing them, and should you self-publish, and what if you are working with a publisher, and what's that relationship like, and what about the contracts they give you, and how much money can you make? And so I'm just going to do a show on publishing and self-publishing for all of you who are thinking of writing articles or writing books, and just to give you some of my advice on that. So that'll be March 23. Mark your calendar. Fact says, a question. Do you think a graduate fresh out of grad school could take on a role as a product manager? Would you say a certain level of expertise in a field is preferable? I think for product management, and I'm not an expert on it, but it seems like what they tend to prefer is that there are certain certifications and training that you can get. I'm not sure that there's grad school in product management, but I think that grad school is a good idea in many cases. And I would look at some of the training and certifications, like from PMI. I think those can help with getting a product manager job. Random question. Let me see what else is coming up that I've put into the calendar. I'm also working on getting some special guests to join for office hours. So we'll see what happens with that. But as of now, that's mostly what's cooking in March. And so in that case, we are pretty much done for today. Thank you so much for the people who joined. Yay! Thank you. And again, if you have anything you want to send in for next week's Practicing Critical Thinking stream, send it to deltacx.com/link. Well, you don't send it there, but go there to find the link to send it in. That's got all the links that you could possibly want to eat, and then you can send it in from there. And with that, I apologize again for my microphone. I guess I will reboot my system at some point and hope that Monday stream sounds good. Madalena says, have a smashing weekend, everyone. And I agree. Let's put up the chats as we get out of here. There we go. Yeah, have a great weekend, everybody. Please be safe. It still is a little bit COVID-y out there, and I know people who have had COVID multiple times. Please continue being as safe as possible and taking precautions. We are still masking and double masking even where it's not required. And hey, we haven't had COVID yet, so I can't say correlation is causation, but we seem to be doing something right. Thanks again to everyone who donated today. It was extremely sweet of you, and thanks to everybody's patience with some of today's technical difficulties. But have a super weekend, and I'll see everybody Monday. Bye.
Customer Centricity as Business Intelligence. Visit deltacx.com to learn why we are